My friends, let me share a truth that is simple, yet so often overlooked. Your life is not shaped by the things you do once in a while. It is shaped by what you do consistently. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who only wish for them is not intelligence, not luck, not even talent. It is the ability to show up every single day, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when no one is watching. Consistency is the great equalizer. It does not care where you come from, what you've been through, or what obstacles stand in your path. If you are willing to keep showing up, keep doing the work, and keep honoring your commitment to yourself, consistency will carry you to places that talent alone cannot take you. It is the steady rhythm that beats louder than bursts of inspiration. It is the invisible hand that writes your story, page by page, until one day you look back and realize you have built a masterpiece. Think about a seed planted in the ground. If you water it once and walk away, it will die. If you water it inconsistently today, then maybe next week, and perhaps next month, it may sprout but never thrive. But if you water it faithfully, little by little, day after day, that seed will grow into something strong, something lasting, something that bears fruit. Your dreams, your goals, your transformation are no different. They require the nourishment of consistency. The challenge is that we live in a world that worships instant results. We want to be fit in 30 days, wealthy in 90 days, enlightened in a weekend workshop. But true change, the kind of change that lasts, is never sudden. It is slow, it is patient, and it is built upon small actions repeated over time. The power of consistency is that it compounds. One workout may not change your body, but hundreds will. One act of kindness may not shift the world, but thousands will. One moment of study may not make you wise, but years of learning will make you unshakable. Consistency also builds trust. Trust in yourself. Every time you show up and keep your word, you strengthen your belief that you can rely on yourself. Confidence doesn't come from thinking you can. It comes from knowing you can. And you only know when you have proven it to yourself again and again through consistent action. And here is the greatest gift of all. Consistency transforms your identity. The moment you begin to act consistently in alignment with your vision, you stop just trying to become something. You become it. When you write every day, you are no longer someone who wants to write. You are a writer. When you exercise every day, you are not someone trying to get in shape. You are an athlete. Your actions, done consistently, shape the very person you become. So if you want your life to change, stop waiting for the big breakthrough. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. Begin today, even with the smallest step, and keep going tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. Over time, you will look back and realize something extraordinary. Consistency didn't just change your results, it changed you. And when you change, your entire life changes. Small steps build big results. We often overestimate what we can achieve in a short burst of effort. Yet, we dramatically underestimate what we can accomplish with small, steady actions over time. The human mind is wired to crave quick victories and instant transformation. That's why so many people rush into diets, new habits, or new ventures with explosive energy. But the truth is, life does not reward intensity nearly as much as it rewards consistency. It's not the giant leap that changes your life. It's the daily steps you commit to, even when they feel small and almost insignificant. Imagine planting a seed in your backyard. On the day you plant it, nothing looks different. Tomorrow, still nothing. Perhaps even for weeks you'll see little to no progress. But hidden beneath the soil, something profound is happening. Roots are spreading. There's building. The unseen foundation is forming. Then one day a small sprout appears. With time, patience, and continued care, it grows into a strong tree, one that can bear fruit for generations. That is the essence of small, consistent steps. They are invisible at first, but unstoppable in the long run. Think of a person who decides to walk for just 20 minutes a day. In a single day, nothing changes. After a week, they may feel slightly better, but the difference is subtle. After a month, they start to notice their energy improving. After 6 months, their body feels stronger, their mind clearer, and their spirit lighter. After a year, those 20 minutes each day have completely reshaped their health. Yet when others look at them, they may say, "Wow, you've changed so much," without realizing it wasn't a single moment. It was the power of daily repetition. The same is true for learning. If you read 10 pages of a book every night, it may feel like nothing. But in a year, you've read thousands of pages, absorbed countless ideas, and expanded your knowledge in ways that one weekend of binge reading could never replicate. Success, wisdom, and mastery are not built on occasional intensity. They are built on a foundation of daily practice. The problem is that many people quit too soon. They don't see results fast enough, so they give up. But consistency requires trust. Trust that your small actions are leading you somewhere, even if the evidence is not yet visible. You cannot dig up the seed every day to check if it is growing. You must have faith in the process. So when you think about changing your life, don't look for the giant leap. Look for the step you can take today. Then repeat it tomorrow. Trust the compounding effect. Over weeks, months, and years, those tiny steps become unstoppable momentum. And when you look back, you'll realize that what once seemed impossible was made inevitable. Not because of one big effort, but because of the quiet power of consistency. 2. Consistency creates discipline. It's one of the most powerful qualities a human being can develop, but it doesn't arrive in your life overnight. It is not something you simply wake up with one morning. It is something forged, brick by brick, through consistent actions. People often mistake discipline for punishment, for harsh self-control, or for restriction. But true discipline is freedom. It is the ability to guide your own life instead of being led by fleeting emotions, impulses, or laziness. And how do you develop this freedom? Through the practice of consistency. Every time you choose to follow through on your commitments, even in small ways, you strengthen your inner resolve. For example, when you wake up on a cold morning and decide to exercise even though every part of you wants to stay in bed, you are not just moving your body, you are training your mind. When you sit down to write for 20 minutes instead of scrolling through your phone, you are not only producing words, you are strengthening your willpower. Discipline is built in those quiet, unseen battles where you choose long-term growth over short-term comfort. Consistency is what transforms discipline from an idea into a way of life. You cannot become disciplined by doing something once. Discipline is born when you repeat a habit so many times that it becomes part of who you are. At first, you may need to force yourself. You may resist. It may feel uncomfortable. But with each repetition, with each day you honor your promise to yourself, the resistance lessens. What once felt difficult eventually feels natural, but what once required willpower becomes automatic. Think of it like strengthening a muscle. If you go to the gym once and lift weights for an hour, you may feel sore, but your strength will not improve in any lasting way. However, if you go consistently, 3 times a week for months, your body adapts, grows, and strengthens. Discipline works the same way. Every time you practice consistency, you are lifting the weights of your inner self. And here is the beauty of discipline. Once you build it in one area of life, it spills over into others. The person who learns to show up consistently for their health will find it easier to stay consistent in their work. The person who develops discipline in managing their finances will find that same strength available when pursuing their dreams. Consistency creates discipline, and discipline multiplies into every corner of your life. So remember, the little decisions matter. Each day you choose to act instead of excuse, to persist instead of quit, to commit instead of delay. You are building a stronger, freer, and more powerful version of yourself. Consistency may look small on the outside, but inside it forges the discipline that will carry you through every challenge life places before you. 3. Consistency builds confidence. Confidence is often misunderstood. Many believe it comes from external achievements, compliments from others, or sudden bursts of courage. But true, lasting confidence comes from one place: the trust you have in yourself. And how do you build that trust? Through consistency. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you send yourself a message. I can rely on me. Each day you take action. Even when you don't feel like it, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than excuses. This is how self-belief is born. Not from empty affirmations, but from evidence. When you consistently show up, you create undeniable proof that you are capable. And that proof becomes the foundation of unshakable confidence. Think of someone who has always doubted themselves, who feels insecure about their abilities. If they decide to work on a goal, Say, learning a new skill, and they practice sporadically. Their doubts remain. Every time they skip a day, they reinforce the idea that they cannot be trusted. But if they practice consistently, even if they are not perfect, something changes. Slowly, their self-image transforms. They begin to see themselves as someone reliable, someone who keeps their word. This inner shift is far more powerful than any external praise. Confidence built through consistency is quiet, but strong. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't crumble under criticism. It is steady, rooted in the knowledge that you have done the work. When challenges arise, you don't panic, because you've already proven to yourself, through repeated actions, that you can handle difficulty. You've trained yourself to trust your own resilience. Consider the athlete who trains daily. On the day of competition, they don't rely on hope or luck. They rely on preparation. Their confidence comes not from wishing, but from months or years of showing up. The same is true for any area of life. Whether it's public speaking, building a business, or creating art, confidence grows in direct proportion to consistency. And here's the deeper truth. When you become consistent, you stop needing the approval of others to feel worthy. You no longer need someone else to tell you that you're good enough. You know you are, because you have lived it. The trust you have built with yourself cannot be shaken by doubt or criticism. That kind of confidence is rare, but it is available to anyone who chooses the path of consistency. So if you want to feel more confident in your life, don't look outside for validation. Don't wait for someone to recognize your worth. Instead, show up consistently. Keep your promises to yourself. Over time, you will create the kind of self-belief that nothing and no one can take away. Consistency compounds over time. There is a principle in life that mirrors the laws of finance, the power of compounding. Just as money grows through compound interest, your habits grow through consistent repetition. The small things you do today may look insignificant, but when repeated over weeks, months, and years, they multiply into extraordinary results. This is the quiet magic of consistency. It compounds silently, invisibly, until suddenly the results are undeniable. Take, for example, learning. Reading 10 pages of a book might feel like a drop in the ocean. It may not change you in that moment. But if you do it every day, in 1 year you've read over 3,500 pages. That's dozens of books, countless new ideas, an entirely different perspective on life. 10 pages on their own mean little, but 10 pages every day compound into a wealth of wisdom. Think of fitness. 1 workout does nothing. 10 workouts may make you sore, but 100 workouts reshape your body, your energy, and your confidence. The compounding effect of daily effort is so profound that even if you miss a day here and there, the overall trajectory still rises. What matters is not perfection, but persistence. The power of compounding rewards consistency, not intensity. The same principle applies to relationships. A single kind word is nice, but a consistent practice of kindness transforms a marriage, a friendship, or a family bond. Just as neglect compounds into distance, care and attention compound into love. Every action you take, however small, is a seed planted into the soil of your future. Over time, those seeds grow. Whether into weeds or into gardens depends on what you consistently plant. The greatest challenge is that compounding works slowly at first. It requires patience and faith. When you start a new habit, you may see no visible results for weeks. This is where most people quit. They dig up the soil looking for progress, not realizing that the roots are still forming. But if you trust the process and continue showing up, the results will eventually accelerate. Just like compound interest starts small but grows exponentially, your consistent habits eventually create momentum that carries you further than you ever imagined. The truth is, you are always compounding something. Every choice you make builds on the previous one. Each time you show up, you strengthen your future self. Each time you avoid responsibility, you weaken it. There is no neutral. Consistency compounds whether you are building habits that serve you or habits that destroy you. The question is not whether compounding is happening. The question is what direction it is taking you. So, the next time you doubt whether your small actions matter, remember this. Compounding is always at work. The seeds you water today will grow into the forest you walk in tomorrow. Trust the process, honor your consistency, and watch how the little things you do daily transform into the extraordinary life you've been seeking. 5. Consistency transforms your identity. Perhaps the most profound gift of consistency is the way it reshapes who you are. It is not just about what you do, it is about who you become. Every action you repeat sends a message to yourself about your identity. Each choice reinforces the story you tell yourself about who you are. Over time, these repeated actions shift your very sense of self. For example, if you write daily, even for just 15 minutes, you stop seeing yourself as someone who merely wants to write. You begin to identify as a writer. If you exercise every morning, you are no longer someone trying to get fit. You become an athlete in your own right. The habit is no longer something outside of you. It is part of who you are. This is why consistency is so powerful. It moves you from wishing into being. Many people remain trapped in the identity of trying to get healthier, trying to save money, trying to learn. But trying is a fragile identity, one that falls apart under stress. Consistency, however, transforms the trying into being. Once you become the kind of person who simply does the thing daily, you no longer struggle with willpower. So when you feel resistance to structure, remind yourself, this is not prison, it is liberation. The small, consistent steps you take today are unlocking doors for your future self. One day you will wake up and realize you are not bound by routine. You are free because of it. Consistency is not glamorous. It doesn't shout, it doesn't dazzle, it doesn't promise instant results. Instead, it whispers quietly, inviting you to trust the process. And yet, when you step back and look at the lives of those who achieve greatness, fulfillment, and inner peace, you will always find the same common thread. They showed up, day after day, even when it was hard, even when it was dull, even when no one was watching. They honored the power of consistency. Think about everything we've explored together. Small steps repeated daily lead to extraordinary results. What begins as a small ripple in your life eventually becomes a tidal wave of transformation. Consistency builds the discipline you need to overcome temptation, to silence excuses, and to keep moving forward when your mind wants to quit. It gives birth to confidence. Not the shallow kind that comes from applause, but the deep kind that comes from trust in yourself. It compounds over time, multiplying your actions until they create unstoppable momentum. It reshapes your very identity, transforming you from someone who wishes and hopes into someone who is. And ultimately, it unlocks true freedom. Not the chaotic freedom of drifting aimlessly, but the powerful freedom of living life on your terms. The question is not whether consistency works, it always works. The question is whether you will embrace it. Will you commit to the small daily actions that build your future? Will you trust the process, even when results are not immediate? Will you keep showing up, even on the days when your mind tells you to stop? Many people give up too soon. They think change is not happening because they cannot see it. But remember, when a seed is planted, its growth is invisible at first. The roots take hold beneath the surface long before the stem breaks through the soil. The same is true for your life. Just because you cannot yet see the results does not mean they are not unfolding. Every consistent step you take is strengthening your foundation, preparing you for the breakthrough that is coming. And here is the truth. Your future self is watching you. Years from now, you will look back on this season of your life with either gratitude or regret. You will either thank yourself for the small, consistent steps you chose to take, or you will wish you had started sooner. Every day is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every action compounds into the story of your life. So, my invitation to you is simple. Start today. Take one small step in the direction of your dreams. Don't worry about how far you have to go. Don't wait for motivation or perfect conditions. Just begin, and then repeat it tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. Trust the process, honor your consistency, and watch how your life transforms in ways you cannot yet imagine. Consistency will not just change your habits. It will not just change your results. It will change you. And when you change, everything around you changes. That is the quiet, unstoppable, life-changing power of consistency.